adrenaline pretty much go hand in hand. Philippa Yoong knows quite a bit about that. Fondly known as Pippa, she is the head coach of the Malaysian Waterski and Wakeboard Federation. We take a little look into the competitive world of sport, its challenges, and what it takes to bounce back.
So Pippa, tell me, honestly, how old were you when you first started driving?
When I first started driving, I think I was 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping this was on the back roads and
Of
like
course.
some kampong somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, okay, I started around my house, and my dad used to have a racing circuit.
Okay,
So
where was this?
in Shah Alam, Batu Tiga.
Batu Tiga, okay.
So I had a pretty unconventional childhood, I guess. So we were driving around the track and on the motorbikes, and you know.
So your dad let you start driving on the track at 10?
Yeah, why not?
And this is was this in go-karts, or was this like...
I think I was 10 or 11, but definitely I was on the highways by 14.
On the highways by 14?
Shouldn't say that, right? It was a really deserted highway.
That is pretty impressive. And so what about water sports? I mean, I know that you're now the head coach of water skiing and wakeboarding, which is pretty cool if you ask me. In most schools, you don't even have swimming pools. So how did you get into water skiing?
The bad thing was my parents divorced.
Okay.
But the good thing was he had us every weekend. So he always loved water skiing. So he found the one lake in KL that did it, which is the mines now.
Yeah.
But back then it was called Balakong. And it was a pit. It's like 600 or 800 feet deep.
Yeah.
So we had to drive down this cliff to get to the lake at the bottom of this area.
Okay.
But there was no organized sport. So when
Okay.
my dad started spending thousands of dollars every month, he thought, just bringing us to the lake, and like if the whole family skis, then it gets really expensive.
Yeah.
So he opened his own business in Taman Desa. From that point on, we were made to work every weekend, every public holiday.
So he set up his own?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
Alex
pretty
and I
incredible.
were driving the boat and tending to customers pretty much at a 12, 13, you know.
I mean, is that your earliest or fondest childhood memories of water skiing?
It's amazing. It was the best upbringing ever because I got to do all these cool things that nobody else could do. And he used to bring in circuses, and I used to work selling popcorn, and you know, all these things that you won't be able to normally work because you're underage, but because your dad's doing it, you can work and get the experience.
And builds character, don't you think?
I think so, because I was at the beginning, you know, you're really scared to do anything like sell popcorn because, oh my God, what are these people? It's like, get out there and sell.
Oh wow! I think makes for a pretty interesting childhood, and probably different from most.
I think it's good, especially to be outdoors. You know, especially now, everybody's like stuck indoors because of safety and.
Definitely. You're the head coach for Water Skiing and Wakeboarding Federation, right? How did you get into that position? Is that something you always envisioned yourself doing?
I think with any small sport, small and obscure sport, you kind of just do what you have to do. So I'm the most experienced in the sport, I guess. I
fell into it?
Yeah, I kind of fall into it, and I help whoever needs help. And I like coaching, and I like teaching people.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of if we can find the parents and the kids who also want to be taught. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's not enough that the kid wants to do it, but the parents have to be committed too.
I agree.
The whole time we were growing up, I think my dad, he said sports is really important, and it's true. I really agree with it, and I'm going to try and get my kids into it as well. Yeah. Because the unfortunate thing about Malaysia is that people don't really swim. And they don't like the sun, and there's no sporting culture. Whereas if you look at Singapore, which is so close by, it's like everybody's so excited to do it.
Every community has a leisure centre with a swimming pool and a basketball court.
Yeah,
you know?
And they're such a small island, but they have hundreds and hundreds of wakeboarders. You know, like so many. Okay, they're recreational. Yes, they're not competitive, but still, they're out there. You know.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Malaysians can be good at this? Is this something that we can cultivate and actually have a lot of really good national athletes in water skiing?
For sure. I mean, number one, definitely, if we had swimming in schools, that would help big time, right?
I agree.
And then number two, if we got more cable skis around Malaysia, cable skiing is a much cheaper way to introduce the sport to people. Yeah. Like in Russia and Chinese Taipei, they have the cables in swimming pools.
In swimming pools?
Yeah, so they take Olympic-sized swimming pools and just go up and down, and they can take whole schools of 6-year-olds, say, okay, put on the skis, and they go one, like that. And it's just amazing. you know, like Australians and English people, they travel 1 hour every day to go skiing at 6 o'clock in the morning in England. And it's freezing there.
Yeah, you were saying that in England you actually get a lot of good skiers, right?
Yeah, it's huge. They have clubs and associations, and because there's so many skiers, they actually have ranks. So it's like they have club level sports, and they have national level, and then they have international level, and then, you know, there's so many levels because there's so many of them.
Wow.
But again, the parents are into it because the parents used to ski, then the kids used to ski, and then now the parents are judges, and then, you know, it's a whole culture that we don't have here in Malaysia yet.
And yourself, you're still competing in the international arena as well, right?
Yes.
At what stage do you think you can still continue? I mean, is there an age limit to this sort of sport?
Okay, because I specialize, I used to do 3 events: slalom, trick, and jump.
And which is the tricks the hardest then?
For me, tricks is the hardest because you need to go every day and train, and I only train 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
Whereas slalom, it's my forte, you know, so I'm always going to stay with that. So for slalom, I can still do it until maybe I'm early 40s.
Yeah.
But right now I'm 34. I have 2 competitors who are 18 and 16, so I told myself, as soon as they start beating me regularly, I'm going to stop.
And at the moment, you're still in the lead.
I'm still in the lead, but barely.
That's brilliant. Or were there any points where you sort of realized, you know what, maybe I don't really want to do this, you know, forever? Did you ever think about that?
When I was about 16, I had quite a bad jump accident. I went out the front. I don't know if you've ever seen jumping, but anyway, the velocity you get, because you're going at 55 kilometers an hour, and by the time you do the pendulum swing, that's maybe double, right? So you're going close to, I don't know, in theory, 80 or 100, I'm not sure. Yeah. So I launched off the ramp, and my ski dipped down, so I basically landed on my face. And my face was all bruised, and my mom thought I was going to.
Do you wear goggles? No, you're not wearing any. Are you wearing any protection?
I was wearing a helmet, but back then it wasn't full face. Yeah. Now the law is that you have to wear full face. Okay, that was pretty hard, and trying to get the courage back to start jumping again. So, yeah, I don't know. It took me maybe 6 months to start skiing again, to get the muscles back and slowly start doing it. And then I eventually went on to jump my best, which was 32 meters.
After this happened?
Yeah, which is like 100 feet.
What do you see yourself doing in 5 years' time? I mean, do you think you'll continue on with this, or do you think you're going to take a back seat for a bit?
5 years doesn't seem too hard for me. I think I can do it at least for a few more years. I mean, I do want to stay fit, but then the toll on the body is, the recovery rate is just not there. So definitely, if I have another big accident, I'm not going to recover as well. Yeah, touch wood. But now I'm not jumping, so hopefully, touch wood.
Okay.